Hi, I'm Jasmine Roper.
And I'm Elise Jones. Welcome to the first CAVS News Show.
From the studios of Chillicothe High School, this is your CAVS News Show.
This week is Homecoming Week here at Chillicothe High School, so we put together a short clip showing our school spirit. Let's take a look.
Yes, I am going to homecoming.
A bit excited. It's my first homecoming.
As homecoming approaches, the students have decided to decorate the hallways for our annual Spirit Week. We have gone with a fairy tale setting this year. Our main theme is Disney movies.
I am absolutely thrilled to go to homecoming this year.
Yeah, I'm going to homecoming. I'm extremely excited.
I'm pretty excited. It's pretty neat, yeah.
We had Spirit Week this week with a different theme for each day. We have interviewed some students who are going to homecoming.
Yes, we're going to homecoming.
We are very excited for homecoming.
The different themes for Spirit Week were Red, White, and Blue, or America Day, which was on Monday, Character Dress-Up Day was on Tuesday, Pink Day was on Wednesday, Country vs. Country Club Day was on Thursday, and School Spirit Day was on Friday. We have pictures of some students who participated in these activities.
Super excited.
I'm pretty excited about going to homecoming.
We have many different elements from Disney movies for our hallways. We have Snow White for the senior hallway, Peter Pan for the juniors, Beauty and the Beast for the sophomores, and The Little Mermaid for the freshmen.
Yes, I plan on going to homecoming. I am extremely elated to go to homecoming.
As you saw, most students are excited about homecoming. The new freshmen are especially excited because this is their first homecoming. The decorations were challenging to make and were very hard and took dedication to put up. The teachers were also participating in Spirit Week, which is very fun and exciting. The students who participated in the dress-up days were interesting to look at as well.
I'm so excited for homecoming. I'm about a 10 out of 10.
Those were some interesting trends among our school hallways. To see what other trends there are in the world, let's go to Parker Tracy with Pop Fusion.
Hello, I'm Parker Tracy, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Pop Fusion. Here on Pop Fusion, I'll be covering movies, music, gaming, and pretty much anything involving multimedia. I'm just going to hop right into it because I don't want to keep you guys waiting. Let's start off with some music. These are the top 5 songs of last week. At number 5, we have Watch Me by Silento. At number 4, we have Hotline Bling by Drake. At number 3, we have Can't Feel My Face by The Weeknd. At number 2, we have What Do You Mean by Justin Bieber. And finally, at number 1, we have The Hills, also from The Weeknd. Now, those are the top 5 songs from last week, but if you want to see what the top songs are right now, make sure to check out Billboard.com where they have the current top 100 songs listed. Now that you know some of the songs to check out if you haven't heard them already, I mean, let's be honest, we've seen at least one person trying to hit the whip recently. Now, why don't we take a look into something more visual that's not too abysmal, and check out some movies that were recently released that are worth watching. Let's begin with a movie that's out of this world and talk about The Martian. This movie stars Matt Damon as an astronaut named Mark Watney who gets trapped on Mars after he gets caught in a storm and is left behind by the rest of his crew. He's presumed dead, but not only does he have to survive on the foreign planet, but he has to find a way to signal Earth that he is still alive. Fun fact, this movie is directed by Ridley Scott. However, don't expect any aliens to be running around in this film. This movie is currently rated PG-13. The other movie we have on our list for this week is Everest. Everest is based around the events of the 1996 disaster on Mount Everest. Basically, a storm struck while people were climbing, and it made it really dangerous. This movie is rated PG-13. It is a dramatization of the events, however. So if you want a more factual account about the events that transpired, you can read some books such as Thin Air and The Climb. Anyway, before I run out of time, here's a little bit of gaming news. If you're excited for the new Star Wars Battlefront game in November, you'll be happy to know that an open beta for the game will be available for PS4, Xbox One, and PC from October 8th to October 12th. The beta will include 3 different modes on 3 different planets. This will include Walker Assault on the snow planet Hoth, a mode where the Rebel Alliance has to take out a massive AT-AT Walker, or as some might call it, giant robot camels. Next up is Drop Zone on the lava planet Sullust, where teams of 8 attempt to control drop pods falling from the sky. And finally, we have Survival on the desert planet Tatooine. where you and a friend can team up to fend off massive waves of stormtroopers. This game has been rated T by the ESRB. Next on the roster, we have Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection. This game is available for PlayStation 4 and contains remastered versions of all the other Uncharted games. Uncharted is a third-person adventure game featuring the hero Nathan Drake, who's kind of like a young Indiana Jones. I mean, they both have fallen out of airplanes, and they both definitely shouldn't have survived, but honestly, it would be a lot less fun if they didn't. To clarify exactly which games are in the collection, it contains Uncharted Drake's Fortune, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, and Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. This game has also been rated T for Teen by the ESRB. Anyway, that's about all the time I have for this week. I'll make sure to see you guys next week on Pop Fusion.
Thanks, Parker. Last week on the 29th, Candidates Night was held here at Ross County Service Center. It was very informational and successful. For all of you that missed the event, let's take a look at a little bit of it. All three of the candidates running for mayor appeared that night. They each answered questions and discussed what they plan to do with Chillicothe if they get elected. We thank all the candidates that came and helped make the event run smoothly and successfully. Now let's go to Taylor Boggs with sports.
Thanks, guys. I'm Taylor Boggs with your first CAVS News Sports Show of the 2015-16 school year. As we jump into fall sports, obviously the first thing we need to mention is football. We're off to a great start in the SCOL with a 3-0 record. This week, we're entering our homecoming game against Greenfield McLean, where we will take down the Tigers and ring that victory bell. The cross-country team starts their homecoming day at Uniota Invitational, hoping to take home first place on both the boys and the girls team, just like they did last Saturday at Washington Courthouse. While football and cross-country teams are chasing league titles, the girls tennis team has already received their league title last week with an undefeated season. But before I jump into anything else, we need to stop and recognize our principal, Jeffrey Fisher, for receiving Principal of the Year on October 2nd, 2015. The athletes, the students, staff, and community presented Mr. Fisher with a video which played on the Jumbotron and an award. He just recently traveled to Washington, D.C. with his family to receive the actual award along with other principals from across the United States. We want to thank you, Mr. Fisher, for always being there and supporting us through the good times and the bad times. Now on to more sports. The Cavaliers girls soccer team became league champs on October 6th when they won against Hillsborough. Not only did the girls soccer team win last night, the boys soccer team is continuing 3 straight years of not having a tie game along with being undefeated for all 3 years. Chillicothe also has a volleyball team who is on a winning streak and became closer to their well-deserved title. People underestimate the Chillicothe Cavalier athletic teams, but as you can tell, they are proving those people wrong once again. Our school not only excels in the classroom, but also on the field. So thank you, Cavalier Nation, for believing in us once again when others didn't. And thank you, Mr. Fisher, for being the biggest support and the best principal Chillicothe High School has ever had.
Thanks, Taylor. Monday, September 28, 2015, NASA has confirmed that there is flowing water on Mars. It shows signs that there could possibly be life there. It is not confirmed yet, but with water there, we are closer to figuring out how to grow plants on Mars. Now let's see what other interesting facts we can find in Did You Know with Ryan Kincaid.
Alright, thanks guys. So, we all know what the City of London is, right? It's a city with huge influence on the world, and it's known for its skyscrapers, importance to the UK, and is home to 11,000 people. But wait, isn't London one of the biggest cities in the world? Well, the City of London and London are 2 separate cities. In fact, the City of London sits in a 1 square kilometer of London, yet it's older than England by almost 1,000 years. That is thanks to the Romans. About 2,000 years ago, the Romans explored Britain and set up a trading port known as Londinium. It was a prosperous port which survived on its own even after the empire collapsed. 1,000 years later, William the Conqueror, who conquered Great Britain, couldn't destroy Londinium, so he made a deal leaving them alone as long as they recognized him as the new king. However, even the monarch today is not allowed in the city without permission. That's you, Queen Elizabeth II. Fast forward a few hundred years, and you find the royal family building Westminster around the City of London to prevent it from spreading. After time passed, the area simply became known as London, and it was made official by Parliament in the 16th century, but the 2 cities were never joined, as the City of London has a government that is as old as the New Testament. The City of London is a special place in England, which is separate from London, is self-sufficient, and is the only city in a city, in a country in a country. All right, thanks for watching Did You Know for this week. I'm Ryan Kincaid. Now back to your main anchors.
Thanks, Ryan. In other news, the play Dial M for Murder at the Majestic Theater has been underway for a while, and it is premiering Friday, October 9th at 7 o'clock. It will also show Saturday night at 7 and Sunday afternoon at 3. It will be $8 for students and senior citizens and $10 for adults. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Let's take a look.
Well, I am married, and my husband and I aren't really happy, but I think that we have an okay marriage. And I did have an affair a year ago, and I broke it off because I wanted to have a successful marriage.
A year prior to the play, I actually had a rendezvous with Mrs. Wendis.
A great bit of the mystery plot revolves around the audience watching me and seeing what I do in order to make this come about.
I have to help the main character, Tony, kill his wife.
I am the one who eventually figures out who done it and make sure that it comes to a proper conclusion.
This weekend, Chillicothe Civic Theater will be presenting Frederick Knott's classic thriller, Dial M for Murder. The play, which was adapted as a film in 1954 by Alfred Hitchcock, attracted several cast and crew members who were already fans of the show, while others came to audition just because they wanted to work with director Kathy Brooks one more time.
Well, I actually heard that they were going to be doing Dial M for Murder in January at the last Chillicothe Civic Theater Awards banquet. And I had always wanted to do this play because I'm a big fan of the Hitchcock production. So as soon as I found out that when auditions would be happening in August, I made sure I was there. I ended up not being able to be there until the very last night of auditions, and I wasn't sure if I would even be considered for the part after that point, but I got cast, and I was very happy.
Well, I worked with Kathy on a previous show, and she told me she would be doing this show, and I love the movie. Grace Kelly played the Margot role in the Alfred Hitchcock version, and so I auditioned because I thought it would be a really fun show to be a part of.
About a year ago, I saw, I believe it was Murder in the Night Room, and then I got interested in playing it, and then I tried out for Miracle on 34th Street, and Kathy, who is also the director, she casted me as Fred Gailey in the play, and now I'm in her second, well, she's been like director for multiple plays, but it's the second play that I am where she's the director.
I was living in California and getting ready to move back, and I auditioned through Skype on the phone, came back.
Oh, well, I've been involved in civic theater for over 30 years and been involved in many, many, many civic theater productions, and auditioned for this role like everyone else in the cast, and was fortunate enough to get cast. I've worked with Kathy Brooks on other productions that she's done, and she's an excellent director, and I knew that this was going to be an excellent production, which it certainly has turned out to be.
I was asked by the main director, which is Kathy Brooks, if I would be willing to help her, to be an assistant director to her. I enjoy the production. It's very well written, and I'm thrilled with the cast that we have. The cast that we have is absolutely phenomenal. They've really worked hard, put a lot of time into this, and even did a lot of character development on their own, which makes it, for me as a director, great.
The show presented many challenges to its cast, including the reality that many of them would have to speak in British accents.
When you have to learn an accent of any type, it can be very difficult because it's not the way that you're accustomed to speaking. In this production, I, along with the majority of my castmates, had to be British. And so I had to decide what kind of British I wanted to sound like, you know, how thick to make the accent, and and various other factors.
Yes, I fall in and out of it all the time. Yes. I've never had to have a British accent in a play before, so trying to stay in it sometimes is difficult when we have days between rehearsal, and when I try to do it at home, my family thinks it's hilarious, so I don't really get to do it at home. So doing it here for a couple hours each week makes it hard to stay in character.
Specifically the Cockney accent, yes, because it's like an English accent but dirty. I watched a couple YouTube videos to like learn the phonetics, and then I watched this show on Hulu called Misfits, and it's just a cast of people that speak with that accent. So I just did like a large influx of hearing that and getting it in my head. So, I mean, that was my process with it.
Difficult to speak with an accent? I don't think it's difficult to speak with an accent. Actually, this is, I believe, the 4th Civic Theatre show that I've done with a British accent, so God save the Queen and all that sort of thing.
Other challenges included designing and building the set, working out intricate plot details, and the choreography of the murder mentioned in the title.
I have to pretend to be strangled and then pushed over the desk, and then I have to stab my attacker. So it's pretty physical. We look like we're wrestling almost. Because she put it to music, it is way more difficult. It's very dramatic the way it matches with the music.
Despite the challenges of building, rehearsing, and presenting such a detailed and intricate production, the cast and crew all agree that all of the hard work has been worth it.
I think it's awesome. I love the attention to detail that Kathy pays to the set, to the costume, to her character development. You know, start to finish, everything is paid attention to, so you can really see what goes into a production.
I think it's great. I think we've assembled a really great troupe of actors. We've got some amazing crew workers, makeup people, just all kinds of great talent working on this production.
I think it's great. All the people were really nice, very friendly, very easy to work with. It was pretty smooth so far.
Oh, I think this is a tremendous show. She's done it again in this show, and even though it's a relatively small cast, I think it's a very powerful show, and I think the audience is going to find it extremely enjoyable as a classic thriller.
It's football season, and that means our marching Cavaliers are supporting our football team to victory. We here in CAVS News did a feature on the drumline to expose a behind-the-scenes look at what all goes on before Friday night rolls around. Let's take a look.
With the transition from summer into fall comes many new seasonal features. In high school, fall is strongly related to football Friday nights accompanied by the marching band.
I feel the best aspect of the drumline this year are all of the great players that we have. I feel that everyone has exceeded expectations for what we were supposed to be doing. I do enjoy leading the drumline. I like having a lot of authority over people, but there's a lot of perks to it. I get to teach young musicians and musicians our age, my age, different ways to play things. I get to teach them different techniques. I get to really just coach them to be better percussionists.
I think the drumline has improved a lot so far. This season they've worked really hard, put in a lot of extra time. We're attempting harder exercises and harder repertoire than we have over the past few seasons.
The significance of the drum line to the crowd is they give you energy, and what is a crowd without a drum line? So that's why they bring a pep band to the basketball games and to the football games.
I think that the drum line in any marching band serves as sort of the backbeat and the rhythmic grounding for the group. And so as a member of the Marching 110, it was a lot of fun getting to provide that kind of high energy rock feel for the band.
I think the importance of the drum line is Friday night football games. while they are playing, the cheerleaders really need them, so we aren't doing it by ourselves, so we can go along with how they're playing.
As the leader of the C section, the drumline plays a huge part. It brings the energy, it gets us fired up. They're always there. They have some great stuff. You can see us in the stands dancing. Just really gets us going.
Working under the authority of Josh is pretty interesting. He likes to go really hard on us and make us stand at attention when we do stuff bad. And he is very good at what he does. He has a lot of authority over us, and he just makes us do whatever we have to do to get the job done.
I do feel like the drumline pumps you up because everyone who hears a beat automatically wants to dance, so when they start to play, you can't help but move and jump around.
I expect that my drumline knows all of their music all the time. I expect them to bring all their music to practices. We need to know our drill. We have a lot of music to cover, and it takes a lot of hard work.
Well, our goals, as in any year, are to get the program to new levels of musicianship and competency on their instruments. And I think through that process, students find out a lot more about themselves in terms of their commitment, dedication, and pursuit of excellence.
I do think the drumline and the cheerleaders play a role together on Friday nights, because we both cheer on the football team and all the touchdowns and victories that they have during the game.
What would I like to see from the drumline? They already do so much for us. The only thing that I would like to see a little bit more of is more diversity in the songs, maybe even playing more often. We really like to get into it. They, like I said, they provide a lot of energy, and we thrive off that.
I do feel like the drumline helps us cheer on the crowd. They are a lot of help, and we couldn't do it without them.
Being in the drumline is not easy. You have to deal with people that annoy you sometimes because they can't get their part right. But you just have to overcome it, because we're a team. One band, one sound.
I do enjoy the responsibility to pump up the crowd. I enjoy being the one that calls off what we play for second downs. I like to play things that get the student section involved and get them pumped up for the football team and the game and taking pride in the school.
That's all for this week. I'm Jasmine Roper.
And I'm Elise Jones. Have a safe weekend, Chillicothe.